What's up, guys? It's Emily. So right now I'm going to be doing a girl talk for you guys about pretty much dealing with a toxic person, whether it's a family member, a friend, an enemy, an acquaintance. Um, I'm gonna be covering like the traits of a toxic person, my experience with toxic people. Um, what else? And honestly, I'm going to give you guys tips on how to get rid of them or work with a person like that, if that makes sense. But first, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to always be notified of my videos. Comment what you guys think of this girl talk. I hope you guys really enjoy this one because I've been wanting to do this one for a minute, but I never got around to do it, obviously. And let me know down more video ideas that you guys want to see, whether it's girl talks, makeup, whatever. Just comment down below. But without further ado, let's get this started. Okay, so toxic people. Now, honestly, I've dealt with many toxic family members, and I'm not talking about like my sisters, my brothers, my parents, more of the extended family. I've dealt with toxic friendships, sadly. I dealt with toxic enemies. Let's just say I dealt with a lot of toxic people. And honestly, I feel like I attract very broken people that are toxic. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have like attract broken people, because sometimes you could be the answer to their prayers, if that makes sense. I've attracted a lot of broken people. I've had many friends that I went through, friendships that I'm no longer, people that I'm no longer talking to, friendships that are no longer there, because they sometimes, like, with toxic people, they think they're doing something right, or they're not listening to, because I'm not saying I'm not like 100% positive, obviously not, but sometimes a toxic person doesn't want to take advice, or doesn't see the wrong in what they're doing, or not taking responsibility in their actions or things they say or anything like that. That's one trait that I noticed that I've dealt with is my ex friendships. They never took responsibility of their harsh traits. Like, I know my harsh traits. I know things about me that I thoroughly thought about and I needed to fix about myself. But sometimes broken people really look past it and think they're like normal. um and I've also dealt with toxic family members. I know there are people that have dealt with that too. There are toxic family members in people's families. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have toxic family members in my extended family, because I do. I definitely do have toxic family members. Okay. And I do have toxic enemies, obviously. Obviously, they're my enemies for a reason. So, the first thing I'm going to go over is the traits of a toxic person. I think I already covered one of them, is where they don't take responsibility of their action, or them thinking that for some reason, a toxic person usually always thinks like everything they say is right, but like when a person's truly just trying to help them, they don't want to take the advice, or they take it the wrong way. They take it as, oh, like, I'm trying to change you, or I'm trying to manipulate you, or whatever the case. They may feel that they're feeling attacked, or whatever the case is. So that's one trait. I feel like a lot of toxic people are very manipulative. They are very, very manipulative people. They know how to really manipulate you in any way, shape, or form, whatever the situation is. Another toxic trait is they get very easily like angry, or they're like mood swings, or like I know I have mood swings. I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't, but like usually a toxic person gets angry about the little things, you know, like you drop a piece of paper on the floor, and or they get mad at their brother or sister very easily, and they take their anger out on them when they don't realize they're angry at the world, and they shouldn't be taking it out on the wrong people. That's another trait, is they take anger out on the wrong people. Sometimes people are out there to help you, even though change sounds scary, and like people that are trying to help you make a better mindset for yourself, but you don't want to take that as a good thing. You take it as, oh, you're trying to change me, or oh, you're trying to make me into somebody I'm not. Usually I feel like that's a very toxic person. Somebody that like, okay, I know this sounds like a little up there, but I think this is the most toxic trait, is when somebody's obsessive over you. I've dealt with many friendships that they couldn't let go of the fact that we were no longer friends, and they called me from random numbers, or they texted me from random numbers, or they just texted me from made a whole new account just to text me. And honestly, like, that's the toxic trait, is when a person gets a little too obsessive with you, and that's when you need to leave ASAP. So I feel like those are the ones I mainly dealt with. So now I'm going to tell you guys about my experience. I've dealt with people that are very obsessive, very manipulative, very negative towards everything. They look at everything negative. Like, it's if you're dealing with like a toxic friend or a toxic friendship, they're going to look at everything negative, or they're not going to see the brighter side of things. They're going to just see darkness all the time. And I honestly feel like when you're in that type of situation, it's very hard to get rid of a person like that, because you know their history, and you know how broken they are, and you know how much they need you, you know, because you could be that person that's giving them a little hope to a better life, or a better view to things. But sometimes, see, with me, what I did to get rid of toxic people, honestly, like, I'm not going to sit here and say it hasn't been hard for me to get rid of toxic people, because it definitely has been very hard for me to get rid of toxic people. You know, when you're dealing with a toxic person, and you're a person that has a really good heart, you hold your heart on your sleeve, and you think that they're going to change for the better, or they're going to like change, like, not, I hate using that word change, because change is like very hard to like work with. Not change, but like more of like just try to help themselves. And you could be the one to help them, but sometimes they don't want the help. And that's when, honestly, I had to get myself out of certain situations where I had to come to realization that I can't help everybody. You know, I literally could stay for a whole 10 years with you, and it could be the worst 10 years of my life, and I hate to say that, but only because like it takes a toll on you mentally. They don't see that you're getting affected too by their toxic traits. And that honestly has happened to me. I've had friendships for 10 plus years. I've had friendships for 7 plus years. I've had friendships for 3 plus years, you know? And a lot of my friendships ended because of toxic reasons. Um, and I'm not saying that to bash them or anything like that. It was just honestly, I had to think about myself at the end of the day. When you're dealing with a very toxic person, your mental and physical health gets very affected, and your emotional health. Um, my mental health really took a toll on me dealing with certain people. Like there were some worse than others. There are some toxic people that are worse than others. Let me tell you. But that doesn't mean to give up on them. You know, if they're willing to make a change, then stick around. But if you start noticing they're getting back into their old ways of like trying to manipulate you or anything like that, get out of that friendship. And also with like toxic family members, that's tricky because obviously you can't get rid of family, but you can keep your distance. That's one tip I'm going to give you is definitely keep your distance, whether it's a friendship or a family member or anybody. You know, keep your distance, keep it very limited. What I mean by limited is keep it civil, highs, buys, how are you doing, things like that. Like, keep it very civil with the other person, because you obviously can't get rid of family members, but you definitely can get rid of friendships. And I feel like a lot of people deal with a lot of toxic family members, but nobody really likes to talk about it. And I feel like with me, I'm not really afraid to talk about it because I'm very aware of toxic people. Sometimes, like, you see in your own family that you're dealing with toxic things, like somebody, like you, some, a lot of family members have the gossiper or the drama person, or the person that likes to stir the pot. I feel like that's another trait. I'm like all mixed up in this video, but a person, like, for, let's just say, a friendship or a family member, they love to stir the pot, or they love gossip, or they love the drama. That is very toxic, guys. And that's when you have to realize you have to get out of that whole situation, because it is not healthy mentally for you, or physically, and emotionally, honestly. Because then you could start grabbing onto those toxic traits, and you don't need that. Like, I've always been a person to take control of myself, of not being a follower, more being a leader, and staying true to myself. Like, sometimes people get so manipulated that they don't realize they lose their identity because of a person. A person could literally build you into somebody that they want you to be. And that's when you lose your identity, and you lose, like, who you were before. And I've never got to that point. Like, there was maybe like one point that I felt like I was losing myself, and I was like, I had to snap out of it. I was like, it's either I gotta get rid of this person, or I just can't. I have to get back. I have to get back to myself. So my advice that I'm gonna give you guys is just make sure you're, like, looking at the little things I said to you, like the gossip, the person that loves to stir the pot, the fighting, a person that loves to manipulate, a person that is a little obsessive. Just make sure you pay attention to traits, and make sure, like, if you feel like you can't answer your own question, make sure you ask other people, like, whether it's friendships, other friendships, or a person that could, like, really truly understand what it's, like, their viewpoint, if that makes sense. But yeah, just be careful, guys. There are some toxic people out there. And I'm not just saying this video to be funny, but literally there are some really toxic people out there, and they don't realize how toxic they are. And the only way they're going to help themselves if they come to terms and stay true to themselves with accepting their toxic traits. But another piece of advice I'm going to give you guys is, if you need to get rid of them out of your life, definitely do that for yourself. It is definitely necessary to do that for yourself. A toxic person is not good for you. They get off of your gossip, or they get off of your drama, and then they'll find a way. There has been some people in my life that has stirred the pot to things, and screenshots and things like that, things that weren't even true, things that didn't even exist. They like made this whole scenario up that Emily said this or Emily said that, or they'll send a screenshot that's nowhere to be found in my messages. So sometimes you just gotta let go. And I know it's hard. Letting go is very hard, but just do it for your own sanity and your own peace of mind, and just be civil with people. Be kind to one another. I'm not saying to hate the person, just pray to God that they get better mentally for themselves, and emotionally for themselves, and physically for themselves, because let's just pray for the toxic people out there. Okay, let me stop with jokes. But yeah, just do anything you can. Make sure your voice is heard, because sometimes you just get wrapped up into too much drama with them, and they definitely know how to work you into crawling back into the friendship and work your mind, or whatever your mind is the most powerful thing, and people really know how to control that. Even like if you're in a toxic relationship, significant other, leave. And sometimes toxic relationships could get to domestic violence, and that's not okay. Guys, girls, kids, parents, cousins, aunties and uncles, anybody is toxic. Anybody. It don't matter if you're blood or not. It don't matter if you're blood or not. It don't matter if you had a friendship for 10 plus years. That don't matter. A relationship doesn't matter. Whether you're family, your friends, or you're dating this person, it don't matter. You gotta think about yourself at the end of the day. That's it. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely really like to do this video for some reason. I really got into it because I've dealt and witnessed with people like this. So I wasn't, I didn't mind doing this type of video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys do want to see a part 2 to this, or like a video of how to like, all about toxic people, I will get that done for you. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.